Presenting others, two others.
Can I get a show of hands? Two others? Okay,
Yes.
so a total of 9 minutes then
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
clock. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nikki Fields, and I'm just going to read a letter because I won't remember everything if I just go by memory. All right, County Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I stand before you to express why the proposed rezone from A35 zoning to RVP zoning in Peyton does not conform with the current master plan for our community. This proposal, while perhaps well-intentioned, overlooks several crucial aspects that define the character and future of Peyton. Regardless of the proposed rules, regulations, and quality of the park, it fails to meet the LDC criteria required for the proposed rezone. The applicant has stated that El Paso County has witnessed significant changes over the past years. This is certainly true for the town of Falcon, defined in the master plan as a regional center, which has seen a surge in development, bringing new businesses, infrastructure, and a shift in the community's character. However, Peyton, which is 10 miles further to the east, which is what we are specifically talking about today, has remained a small, primarily agricultural, and vastly rural residential area that is defined in the master plan as a rural center. This preservation of Peyton's rural charm is a testament to our collective desire to maintain a peaceful and undisturbed way of life. The current El Paso County Master Plan emphasizes the importance of protecting our agricultural heritage and ensuring that development aligns with the existing character of the community. The proposal to rezone to RVP, which would allow for an RV park within a large lot place type, does not align with this vision. Page 26, Section 3 of the Master Plan discusses this place type, defining that it should, in quote, support the rural character of the community. I want to talk a little bit about tourism. On page 33, the master plan discusses the rural center place type of the town of Peyton, and it states that commercial services are to support the residents. This rural center is not intended for tourism, as are other areas in El Paso County. There are no services in Peyton that would attract or support tourists traveling in their RVs. Unlike Falcon, which is equipped with amenities and infrastructure to support a more transient population, Peyton lacks the necessary facilities to make an RV park viable or economically beneficial to the community. There are very few businesses in Peyton. I think there's maybe 3 or 4. So there are very few businesses in Peyton for tourists to spend their average of $322 a day. There is not a gas station. There are no restaurants. The only one that was there was a bar and it burned down. So there are no restaurants now. There is not a grocery store. There are no movie theaters. And the mentioned trails are only reachable by driving 5 to 10 minutes to them, according to the master plan. The land use chart on page 23 of the master plan clearly shows that tourism is not a supporting or primary land use for the rural and large lot place types. Although the master plan is clear on encouraging tourism within the county, it is specifically not supported in rural areas or the large lot place type. Moreover, the proposed RV park does not conform to the surrounding properties. Land use goal 1.1 is, in quotes, to ensure compatibility with established character and infrastructure capacity. Our community, end quote. Our community is characterized by large lots, open spaces, and agricultural operations. Introducing an RV park into the large lot place type would disrupt the visual and functional harmony of the area. The increased traffic, noise, potential environmental impacts are at odds with the serene rural lifestyle that Peyton residents value and have worked hard to preserve. The existing commercial uses mentioned by the applicant are all either allowed under the A35 zoning or were in place long before the current zoning use chart was created, making them legal non-conforming. And many of them have been in business, the game processing 20 years, the auctioneer and RV boat storage 30 years, the kennel 15 years. Most of these are not new businesses. The place type and land use chart on page 23 of the master plan shows that the only primary land use for this place type is single-family detached residential, which on page 26 is described as generally occupying lots of 2.5 acres or more, and are generally large and dispersed throughout the area so as to preserve the rural aesthetic. An RV park is not an approved primary or supporting land use for the large lot place type. During the recent Planning Commission hearing, the majority of the commissioners recognized these incongruities. 6 of the commissioners voted against the rezone based on the specific criteria that must be met for approval, which is what we're discussing today. The 2 votes in support of the rezone were not grounded in these essential criteria. As documented in the minutes from the hearing, these votes were based on personal opinions about land ownership and community sentiment rather than the objective standards set forth in our planning guidelines. It is imperative that our decisions be guided by the established criteria and the long-term vision for Peyton as outlined in the master plan and land use criteria. Allowing a rezone that deviates from these guidelines sets a dangerous precedent and threatens the character of our community. We must prioritize thoughtful criteria-based planning that respects the unique qualities of Peyton and ensures its sustainable future. In conclusion, the proposed rezone from A35 to RVP zoning is unsuitable for Peyton. It does not align with our master plan, which is the intended guide through which all land use and zoning decisions are made based on the required criteria for land development. This application clearly does not meet the LDC required criteria. The application is not in general conformance with the El Paso County Master Plan, including applicable small area plans, and there has not been a substantial change in the character of the neighborhood, which we're talking specifically Peyton, since the land was last rezoned. Also, the proposed land use or zone district is not compatible with the existing and permitted land use and zone districts in all directions. The proposed rezone is a clear example of leapfrog development, which is clearly discouraged in the master plan. It simply does not fit. I urge the Commission to deny this rezone proposal and continue to uphold the principles that have preserved the integrity and character of rural El Paso County. As the elected county commissioners that represent the community members of Peyton, you have a duty to objectively uphold the criteria upon which development and rezoning decisions must meet for approval. The community is also trusting that the various financial contributions made to 3 of the current county commissioners' campaigns over the years by the applicant will have no sway on your decisions to uphold the objective and clear land development requirement criteria. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much.